Hello, everyone. Welcome to the alaracanfieldshow, the Awaken Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And my good friend Cathleena Hailley is back with us today. And we are talking about moving through the time matrix at 0 point, pure presence. So we are going to be taking live caller questions. Cathleena always does these beautiful processes, not just beautiful, but really powerful processes. So please be willing to receive, right? Be willing to receive from all of the processes and all the questions. And for those of you who don't know Cathleena, like I said, she's been here with us many times, and we love having her back on the show. She is an embodiment of the divine feminine who works with the Council of Nine Collective, and in particular with Jesus, Metatron, and other ascended masters. Her coding accesses the womb water of an individual's birth so that they are brought back to their original soul expression, creating a rebirth to allow full expression of the soul's imprint. As the lineage of the life architect, her crystalline DNA signature not only carries the frequency of perfect pitch to align to the original human template, earth template, and this universe's template, but continually recalibrates this alignment. So we are so happy and glad that Cathleena is here with us. We always talk about something brand new that we've never talked about before, and brand new processes, brand new everything. And so today, again, it is the moving through the time matrix at 0 point, which is pure presence. All right, so Cathleena, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Always fun to be here with you. I love your energy and your audience. It's great, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. And we love having you. And we always, receive, I personally always experience so many ahas and like a transformational experience whenever you come on the show. Not just because of what we talk about, but it's your energy as well. That's always, doing stuff, right? There's always transformation happening as soon as you start talking, but not even as you're talking, but just with your presence here on the call. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes. Well, I'm a divine mirror, of course. So whatever you see in me is in you. But also, yeah, I carry the 0 point for all frequencies. So I don't just arbitrarily talk. And yes, and especially when I have an intent to show up for, any particular container, let's just say, I'm showing up in that 0 point. So there's already things that are shifting and changing pretty much automatically.
Yeah. So if you're willing to receive the changes, if you're willing to receive the shifts and the transformation, basically your job is to say yes and be willing to allow. Okay. And stay out of your head, because if you're staying in your head, you're not truly being present and you're not truly receiving. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think the nature of the frequency in which I embody, whether you're in your head or not, you're going to receive. So it's a greater ability to receive in I guess a more profound way to your immediate life if you're open. If you do, if you choose to move your thoughts into your heart. And I would even command them. I command my thoughts into my heart, command my thoughts into my heart, command my thoughts into my heart. So that we begin to open up the heart space, because that's really where the 0 point is, which is what I carry, right? The no thing and the all possibilities. So that's what we're dropping into. Yeah.
So I was just going to ask you, because we talk about it during every show that you're here with us. Well, we always talk about the 0 point. And I think, in the past, some people have still not understood what that is or what that means or how they can access it or any of that kind of stuff. So can you talk a little bit more about the 0 point and how would you describe it, and how can we experience it more? And I know it's not just of, just saying I'm in the 0 point. There's a bit more involved in that.
Yeah. So the 0 point actually is the place of no thing and all possibility. So it's the present moment without judgment. And so kind of the access for it is to be able to, have your feet on the floor, looking out your eyes, being in your room, first of all, and then noticing if you are in thought, because there's what I call sort of the false neutrality, because the 0 point's like a neutrality place. And, but the false neutrality is when you're, feet on the floor, looking at your eyes in your room, but you're in your head. And so when you can then drop out of that thought, and how do I do it? You just become the witnessing observer of your thought. And I think this is a key to being in what we're calling, referring to as the 0 point or the present moment, is that, you don't try to change your thought. Because I think that often people hear this and there's all this judgment going on anyway. Judgment is a huge piece of what we're doing, many different things. And so, there's all this dialoguing going on in our head. And then they say, okay, well, no, I need to be out of my head. So, shut up, do this. But that's just playing out more of the energies in which you don't desire. So instead, if you just kind of be curious about, like, what is my head, what's dialoguing in my head. And then as you start to notice your dialoguing, you will also begin to notice that your awareness becomes much more in attention of here, of this body, of who you are. Almost like you're starting to become aware that I'm sort of inside my head. I'm inside my body. And as you continue to just be the witnessing observer of that, and you continue to just kind of observe, you are naturally shifting into your heart. That's really, it's like literally that's the process. Like you've awakened, you're looking at, almost like you're looking into your mind, you're experiencing your thoughts, whatever. And then as you continue to just experience them, it's as though the energetic literally takes you down and drops you into your heart. Because what you're doing is you're disengaging from the emotional response of those thoughts that you're continually playing over and over and over again. And as you're disengaging from that, then you're dropping into that present moment in neutrality. Okay, and that's really allowing yourself, and then you want to think about, once I've dropped into that present moment, it's just going to feel like, I don't know what I feel. I'm sort of here. And so at that moment, because it's actually brand new, if you add curiosity, excitement, exploration into that now moment, now we're going to start being conscious creators in a positive way, because you are, we are creator beings, right? And I'm just going to jump right into this because, we're going to go there. So, and as a creator being, we're literally creating our reality. And so the actual creative process is, you have a thought, and every single thought comes out of your head as a geometric shape. And that thought, so the thought is the mental masculine or the blueprint of your creation. All creation comes with a thought. And then your emotion, you give it an emotion. That emotion is the spiritual feminine or the creator creation of your whatever you're going to create. So you have a thought, you give it an emotion. So every thought and emotion that you hold, I believe, is 14 seconds or longer, and I don't know why 14 seconds, but it does. Then that moves into what's called the unified field, into your heart, and then actually moves into the physical world, comes back in your body and out into your life. So quite literally, your thought plus your emotion is what you are creating in your world. And so that's why becoming the observer of what your thoughts are, and as you begin to become the observer, you will begin to recognize what is the emotion that I have been giving that thought. And you'll be able to, in essence, disengage from it to decide if I want to re-engage. If it's a positive good, I can certainly re-engage that. But if I don't have to. And so it's giving you a mechanism to kind of be aware of what what emotions that you've been giving your thoughts. Because this is something that's happening repetitively. And if you're looking to change, your physical reality, if you're looking to change, life's situations, this is a key, because your life situations are perpetuating and continuing because of the emotions in which you're giving to your creation. Okay, so that's a key. Right.
I kept hearing these weird sounds, like, what is that sound? And then my husband came up and he started talking to me, and I'm like, I'm doing my show.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw. So yeah, I just carried forward.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And and the thing is, like, even today, I was aware of like a thought that I had with a feeling, right? Which I had not recognized before, right? Because it was something new that I was becoming aware of. And it's like, oh, it's interesting that I'm having this thought, but it's like, okay, this is not empowering. I don't like it. So I don't have to choose to continue thinking this thought anymore. And I can instead choose something more empowering, or just, let it go and just be back into the present moment and just being, again, observing my thoughts, right?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of keys in that. I think it's actually easier to notice the thoughts and be able to kind of say, well, I don't choose that thought. And part of that, it takes practice, because so you have to start, it's like you wouldn't let somebody come in your home and kick your dog or do whatever. So why am I letting this in my head? So you do have to start to notice, what am I allowing? What are the thoughts I'm allowing? But I think the more challenging part is the emotional response to those thoughts, of bringing that into a place of neutrality, because we have this illusion that I don't have a choice about that. And we do have a choice about that, because the real truth is, right, we're sovereign. And what sovereign means is I'm self-governed internally. I have control over how I feel, regardless of what I think is outside here. And that's like such a key. And the thing too, about becoming the witnessing observer of it, it's really different than trying to change it right away, because that's what we're also taught. It's like, if I have something negative, I'll make it positive right away. But the thing is, you have to bring it into the neutrality to pause the negative and sort of ignite the positive, because otherwise you're almost like dragging it, so to speak, into just a slightly different frequency of negative. And so there needs to be a disengaging of that frequency. And that's what we do when we drop into that 0 point. We drop into the neutrality of it. It's basically kind of, you can think about it just like being your best friend to you, loving you enough to stop self-punishing. Because we don't realize that's a self-punishment that we're doing. We're taught to do that. We're playing out major frequencies all the time that we don't recognize. And some of the major ones is enslavement or imprisonment and sacrifice frequencies that we're playing out all the time. And it's this constant, and judgment is part of that. So we're just playing out these to ourselves. And so it's interesting, because most of us would never do that to anyone else. But why are we doing that to ourselves over and over again? And we don't recognize that we have the power to shift this, because, we have these life circumstances that have given us, in our mind and in our experience, this emotion. If I have something happen in my life and I feel super upset about it, but I have a choice about that emotional response to it, and also it's like, who's having that emotional response? Because there's many of me, and that's, of course, the course that I have here is all about this time matrix, because time is not linear. Time is more circular, more spherical. And so, it's like, when something occurs in your chronological life, it's not really the event that's the issue, it's the emotional component of that event that you're stuck in, because it's the emotional aspect of it. So, being able to bring that into neutrality, you can do that in the 0 point, because in the 0 point, you are, one with all aspects of self, no matter what, quote unquote, time. Because it isn't, it doesn't really have an element in relationship to that.
Interesting. So, when I was having this thought that came up, there was an emotion with it, right? So at that point, it's like, okay, who am I being in this moment with this experience? Am I being my 10-year-old self? I mean, being a younger version of myself? Am I being, a 20-year-old version of myself? Who am I being? Is that what you mean by the time?
Yes, exactly. Well, because these things occur in our chronological life. And we basically are frozen in that time, and whatever that emotional response is, then that's what triggers are, is that when we get triggered into something, we're literally triggered to that sort of moment of time, so to speak, in that element of energetic field. And if we don't, have a recognition, first of all, we have to have a recognition of whatever that is, if that time, first of all, we won't know. Any trigger is, so triggers are never in the now moment, ever. Triggers are always something of the past. That's just because that's what makes it a trigger, in general. But yes, absolutely. And these different experiences, and they can be past lives or this life, whatever, and an accumulation of them. But whatever those experiences are, that are connected to a particular thought or response, there, until we can disengage that, basically, it's more like alchemizing it until we can match it, until we can bring it into a place of the 0 point. It's going to continue to trigger and show up again and again and again. And so really the way to do that is to become the witnessing observer of it. You've got to be able to observe from a different perspective. And this course that I'm talking about today, that's what I do, is I take you through, I open up a portal of the 0 point, and I'm able to take you as your consciousness, your soul signature, basically to these particular ages of your existence in this lifetime, other lifetimes, doesn't matter, and become the observer. So in essence, I mean, if some people are at places that they can actually experience it, it would be as though you're able to see like yourself and maybe your mother and in a particular scenario, and by doing that, you're not only able to sort of watch and experience from this very 360 degree sort of aspect of whatever took place, but your senses and everything else, because I bring all those also in, are all in your 0 point present moment. So it's like you be able to become in the neutrality of the entire sort of scene, so to speak, and that really alchemizes and puts in a very different perspective whatever took place, within your being. And this is what I'm doing anyway, kind of, but it's just another aspect of being able to do this. And I think many people can benefit and relate to that, because we are, really, most of us, in terms of our emotional, even the emotional template that we have, because the original template has been distorted, and so I'm actually able to bring in the original template, which basically aligns with the frequencies of love, truth, beauty, and goodness. So the distortions shift those and change that. So without that emotional template in place, many of us are have like we'll call an immaturity, so to speak, in terms of our emotional responses. And all that means is that you're sort of stuck in one type of emotional response, that everything tends to continually go to that same response, no matter what, because it may be, a very, like a 2-year-old, it may be something like that. And many people are, because at those ages, we might have completely shut down and never have any responses. So, it's like being able to mature that part of yourself, but really feel it and bring it into a place of your own awareness.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. So there's so much there that you just talked about, about how the program is going to be, but also like what we are perceiving perhaps on a regular basis or not perceiving, that would help us to become more aware of our thoughts and our emotions. But even asking that question, who am I being right now? Who is this, right? And but that still, like, getting to the 0 point part is still the crux of it, right? Because earlier, like in my experience, I didn't get to the 0 point. It's like, okay, I had the awareness, like, oh, okay, interesting. I'm having this thought, I'm having this emotions come up with it. Okay, well, I'm just going to change it, right? Instead of allowing myself to get into the 0 point in order to make it neutral, like you said.
Yeah, and I think that, the key to that is we got to really engage here. You got to realize the entire experience of us as source consciousness is right here, is this vehicle. This is the millionaire. This is the relationship. This is everything, this right here. Because I just described of how we're creating, and certainly we are, consciousness, and I've shared this before, and consciousness is basically information. And so if you think about source consciousness as, this giant library of information, and it's like geometries and so on, and you are a smaller library of the giant library, and so am I, but I'm a different one than you. We're all different ones, and having that consciousness, the way in which we are here in a physicality is we're choosing to engage our library of consciousness with this carbon DNA with this body. And you want to think about, like, this body is its own universe, and it's got consciousness itself. And the ideal thing that we're doing is we're taking our unique soul signature and we're communicating it with this carbon DNA at a 0 point, at a neutrality place. We're having an authentic communication level. That's the ideal. That's what happens when we're able to drop into a 0 point. And you know, because we're one with all, you know, we're literally, you know, the no thing, the all possibilities. And so if we can, if that might sound like out here, but if you can just bring it down to simple and begin to realize the power in what I'm describing to you, because, you know, it's just that we haven't been taught this, and that many of our belief systems and the way in which we keep going to our head tells us, well, that's not true. That can't be right. That can't be as easy. It can't be you know, things are happening, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, yes, there is what we believe, all these things that we think are outside here, but everything that is outside here originates here. Everything. And so that means I have the complete ability right here. And how do I do it? If I can allow myself to simply have an authentic experience. That's really what it is. And that's the idea of the 0 point, is just simply truly being present in this now moment and giving myself permission to have it be brand new and have an actual experience. Because that's what I'm not doing. Okay, I come into the world originally with that, but as soon as I start having any communication with anything, and I'm told what it means to be a girl or a boy or whatever, I become that. Once I become that, then now my emotions, my responses are all in relation to that character I've become. So I'm no longer my unique self, or whatever that is, having a brand new experience all the time. I become Cathleena, the girl, the woman doing right? Instead of, you know, and that's really what we want to continually notice. Just keep noticing, how have I identified myself? Is it who I am? Asking yourself over and over and over. And that's the easiest way to do it, because, you know, how I have identified myself is, you know, when I can own that, when I can feel it, when I can, you know, that's in essence alchemizing it. That's when I bring it into a neutrality, because I've made, you know, I have a recognition on how it's been serving me, because we think that this is not serving me. If I'm freaking out, I'm feeling bad, I'm whatever. Well, remember, your source consciousness having an experience. So, you know, you are choosing this, even if you don't believe that you are, okay, you are. So we have to, you know, we have to have that recognition. It's like, all right, wait, you know, nothing can happen. Nothing's done to me outside of me. You know, this is me, my response, you know, to it. It's my response. Whatever's happening to me is my response. So when I can own that, you know, own who I'm being. And, you know, this is where it starts to get complicated with people, because they'll say, well, I didn't choose this experience. I didn't choose that experience. And there's just, you know, we came from other lifetimes. We came from other ways in which we chose to come in through these parents. We chose to come through these lineage for specific things that we are clearing from our being. So yes, we did choose these things. And again, it's got to get to that neutrality point about anything that's taken place in your world. Yeah. We can get to that neutrality place, which is, you know, of course, that this is why this is such a big topic, because it's the key to, you know, becoming the witnessing observer of me, and not, you know, into the whole blame game and fight all these things that we're doing in this exterior illusion of the exterior world. You know, we have to, if we could just put all that here and get right here all the time. This is magical, magical, magical.
And I think that one of the key points you mentioned is that we are creating everything that we are experiencing. So and part of that is very empowering. Part of that, some of us don't want to hear because, we've created shit, right? So it's like, okay, well, we created this. Are you sure? Right. But the thing is, for me, I think it's very empowering because then it gives me that knowledge and that feeling, that knowing I'm a sovereign being. And if I can create this for whatever reason, doesn't matter, then I can create something else.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's so many things that are going on right now. I mean, we have, so there's something that's come up that I think it's coming up now, and that's what I'm going to speak about a little bit, that I've had many clients actually coming forward with a lot of this and just a lot of people in general. But because, of the false matrix that's been playing out, and I think pretty much all the audience here knows that. If they don't, there is a consciousness here, right, that's been playing out this enslavement program basically for humanity. So it's a false matrix program. Well, so all of you have come here in this lifetime to help usher in, the ascension. And remember, the ascension is the body's ascending. We are not ascending. We are fifth dimensional or higher beings. It's the body that's vibrating at the denser rates, and we're shifting those. Well, because this has been going on for eons of time, and we've been, coming here for many times. Well, many of us, if not pretty much everybody, have been on both sides of this coin. That means you've been, perpetrator or perpetrated, victim, victimizer, or whatever, both. And so, we come into this lifetime before we come in this recognition that we're pure source consciousness, and we're going to come in here as pure source, and we're going to help hold that, pure source light to help humanity release everything that is not of that pure source light and step in. And so we come into this lifetime, we choose the particular parents, and we choose them based on some of the karmic aspects of what we have, participated in, perhaps, or different things that have gone on. So we're choosing these in order to alchemize, again, these particular lineages, these frequencies, these different things. And if we don't remember, if we don't remember who we are, we don't remember that we've done this, what ends up happening is we sit in this place of the unknown, and we sit in this place of, not knowing who we are, not knowing, first of all, that we're source consciousness, and that we've done all this, and that we're here just to have an experience. That's it. Just to be here for the experience of whatever that is, and hold the light. And so by not remembering, we can be in the place of this doubting, this confusion of who we are, internally all the time, where it's like, I know I'm really good, but well, why am I having this? And what's happening to me? And that's all here because that's what's still playing out. That's what's still playing out. And each time we forget that we are this consciousness, we unintentionally open up portals and gateways for more of that energy that has us doubt to show up. We're feeling it, we're aligning with it, more. This is again why it's so important to drop into the 0 point, because when I go into the 0 point, it's like I shut all that off and I just allow myself to come into, who I feel, who I am, right? So it's like being able to disengage that, So this is going on. There's also, because, it's such a profound time right now, that there are all these plasmic fields that are coming in, and there's a lot more access to basically our awareness of who we are in terms of our multidimensionality and sort of past lives aspect. So that is also connecting in. And again, if you don't remember who you are in relationship to that, you're just going to experience more of the, something's getting me, or something's happening, or that's going to be your experience, because you're not just recognizing that you're pure source consciousness, having an experience. So I'm going to keep emphasizing. And how do we feel that? How do we disengage from all that we think is doing us harm? You drop into the neutrality. You drop into the neutrality of it, because all of that is within this consciousness here. That is really nothing more than the energetics of your own, soul signature, choosing to engage in other frequencies. But see, as source consciousness, no other frequency can sustain itself in pure source than pure source. So when I am in full sovereignty recognition that that's what I am, no other frequency can sustain itself. It has to go, has to leave automatically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that profound. And I know there are several that are having issues and things, and this is what it is. It's like, own your sovereignty, own your source consciousness, and those frequencies dissipate.
Powerful. That's really powerful. And that's something that we have to remind ourselves of constantly, especially when we're going through some sort of trauma or drama, something happening, right? Because life is going to happen, but it's in those moments that we have to remind ourselves of who we truly are, right? We're not the experiences that are happening around us. We are always source consciousness expressing itself.
Yes, and even if we can't do that, it's really just about that surrender, that letting go. And I often say, it's like, it's not a giving up, but it is like a letting go of it, because you don't realize you're holding on to it. You're holding on to those energies and frequencies and often entities and different things or whatever. You're holding them because, you're afraid of them, thinking that you have to get rid of them. Well, none of that is your sovereignty or the recognition that you're source consciousness. And so, and I just think that this is important because I feel people run into this a lot, and it's like, just, it's just recognize, it's like I talk about things in the body. It's actually harder to hold disease in the body than it is to release it, because you're taking something that naturally is in motion and you're actually keeping it in the same frequency over and over again. That's actually pretty hard to do. So that takes a lot of energy, to be able to do that. And I think if people who are suffering with different conditions would start to have that kind of awareness, it might be able to shift things in them very quickly, start to notice like, look how powerful I really am, that I'm keeping this within my body. Yeah. What would that be like if I took that in a different way, if I actually believed that in a sense of self, in myself, and I was the experiencing of that, like, what am I really doing here?
And I think one of the biggest things also is people don't have an experience of what it feels like to be source consciousness. So when you're saying, we are source consciousness, they don't know what that means. They don't know what that feels like, right? So it's like, we can mentally say it, it's like, okay, yes, I know intellectually I am, but they don't have that experiential knowledge of it.
Yeah. So I think the easiest way to think about that is, I mean, even if you were just to simply just say, well, even if I don't know anything about who I am, I can say, if I get real quiet in this now moment, I realize that I have a choice about what's going on in my own head, in my own world. I mean, I really have a choice in that, and it's just practicing that. I think it just takes practice, because we've been so trained to be out here, to have all of your focus be outward. And not realize it's all inward. But this is what I carry around all the time. This is the entire experience of anything out here. All happens right here. Everything happens here. And that's really all that I'm really continuing to speak about, is that everything happens right here.
Yeah.
And that if I had the recognition that I'm the one choosing, imagine that this is like a shopping mall. And I'm the one going into the different stores. I'm the one picking up the different products. Even though I don't think I'm doing that, I'm doing that. So I can choose or not. I could just stand there and just look at them all and just have the experience of it in a place of neutrality.
Yeah. Wow. So there's lots of questions in the chat. I'm sure you can see all the stuff happening in the chat.
Yeah.
Lots of energies. People are asking for clearings. People are asking for help to take them out of a certain space, etc. Do you want to take some questions, or do you want to do a process first, or where do you want to go?
We can take some questions. That's fine.
Okay.
Why don't you pick who you want to bring forward.
So we haven't, Betty's brand new. So Betty, if you want to unmute yourself, let's take a new person first.
Sure.
Betty, BD, I'm not sure how to say it. Betty's iPhone. You want to unmute yourself?
Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me? How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been on the manifesting, I guess, roller coaster for a while, and it's just been tough. I don't know what questions you need, if it's anything goes. So I just wanted to see if you can look into my field to see what's going on with me, please.
Something specific, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manifest about manifesting. I've just been trying to manifest money and my new husband, and I don't know what's holding me back. Is that good enough?
Well, you're holding you back. I mean, I can feel that right away. I
Uh-oh.
mean, you know,
Really?
when I feel the energy, so manifesting. So see, even so, realize how you just took that in. Realize what you're feeling in this now moment. That's what I'm referring to. So your energy automatically goes to a place of defeat, goes to a place of shutdown, of discouragement, of, you know, something's wrong with me, something. That's what I'm talking about. When we let go of that, when we realize nothing's wrong, I'm not broken, I don't need to be fixed. And that's like, what am I really seeking? What am I really looking for? And you've got to start, remember how I'm saying that everything is here within the body. So if I'm seeking partner, if I'm seeking, you know, abundance, so on, it's like, am I feeling that? Am I receiving that to me? Because, you know, ultimate love is self-love. How am I treating this vessel? Which is what I'm showing you. It's like this vessel, your vessel is like, oh, I'm feeling bad. So if I'm feeling all bad, and remember, this is the vessel that is radiating, whatever this vessel is radiating as, vibrating as, is what I'm sending out, and it creates a match back to me. So if my vessel is in, then what am I going to receive back into my life? That same thing over and over again. So this is the key. It's like when I can truly love myself, when I can truly feel who I am and feel, you know, like what I really desire internally, when I can give it to her. You know, it's like I say, and I love you, Cathleena, you're so amazing. I love this body. It's so amazing to have the body to be able to have an expression of being in a physical world. You know, it's like, wow. And I ask her, what do you need? What do you want? What's your heart saying? What are you feeling? And we grow together. Then this comes into a place of balance. And then that energy is going to attract everything that I truly desire. Because like, what am I really looking for? You know, who really am I? So you see what I'm bringing you? And I'm also in your energy shifting this for you. And then I will be doing this in an activation, but do you see what I'm showing you in terms of the feeling? It's all about feelings are the key, because feelings are the frequency. It is the you know, the match of whatever is going to come to you. So if I'm feeling bad and down and so on, feel what that feels like. You know, I often say it's kind of like seeking a peach and standing in an apple orchard. You can't find it there. Right? You have to go into the peach orchard. I mean, unless somebody drops one or something, perhaps. So that makes sense to you?
Yeah, it's weird because I've been doing that, trying to, I guess I'm sometime in my head, like you were saying, you know, like people say, connect your mind with your heart. And I've tried to do that and be in the feeling. Yeah, I guess it's been a little bit hard for me.
Yeah, you're still in your head. You're in judgment right now, and you're in judgment of yourself, as though, and you're even hearing it with judgment as though there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong. You're an amazing, incredible creator being. And just, you need to know that. And when you know that, and when you feel that, everything will come into your world, because it has to. It's universal law. It's when we own it. You got to own who you are. You're an amazing creator being. Love yourself. Love yourself. That's the key. No matter what.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
You're an
Betty.
amazing
Thank you,
being.
Alara. Huh?
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Betty.
Betty.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna, 1 second here. All right, so we're gonna go to Linda. Linda, you wanna unmute yourself?
Yep, I do. Thank you so much. It's always good to see both of you. Okay, Cathleena, I just found something really exciting. I'm really happy with it. And it's a new energy system that I've seen. But what I want to know is it a higher frequency than the 0 point, or will the 0 point enhance the system?
Well, I don't know what the system is. And
It's called EE system. It's a system
yeah,
that
I've seen the EE system, and
okay.
actually that is the 0 point. I felt it. It is what I carry. It is the 0 point.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so I have a 0 point energy machine that's really cool. I got it from Italy, from Lois Punta. You can find it on Facebook. And so I put my hands on there. So when I'm about to get the medallion that the EE system puts out,
Right.
so can I enhance the system with this 0 point system?
The 0 point is 0 point. It's not like you
It doesn't,
enhance or
okay,
do.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The 0 point is a 0 point. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
about, I'm not feeling anything for the system you're talking about that you received. I did feel the energetics of the EEC, EES actually. I just felt that the other day. And I feel the 0 point there, but I'm not feeling the energetics with the other one that you're talking about.
Oh, I'd have to show it to you.
I can feel it is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
you can
to
feel it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling the energetics of it. So in that case, I think you might actually feel differently when you receive this medallion aspect. It's just a 0 point though. It does
Okay.
create a 0 point. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Awesome, thank you, Linda. You'll have to tell me all about it.
I will.
All right, Destiny has her hand raised and has lots of questions.
Hi, Alara. Thank you. I am in this weird.
Try and keep it general so that it applies to everybody. Okay, if you can.
I don't know if I can today. I'm in a really weird space. I'm not sure where I'm at, but in this space, it's almost like I'm getting terrorized. Like to some extent, it's just very painful. There's like this energy spinning around my head that's messing with my mind, keeping my mind going. But then at my feet, I'm not feeling like I'm feeling. So my head and my feet are feeling really weird, and I'm in a lot of pain right now.
Yeah. Destiny, this is something that you're continually stepping into, and this is a pattern of just continually going into a place of fear, a place of uncomfortable. It's a place that there's a part of you that doesn't want to be present, and every time this part of you doesn't want to be present, this is exactly what shows up. I mean, I've worked with you many times. And so, that's just what I feel. I'm feeling it again. I feel it, and it's a younger aspect. It's just a version. And so when you can just own her, love her, and let her know that she's safe, open your eyes, look around your space, look around that you are, you're safe, you're in a good space, and allow yourself, give her permission to come into the present moment, that will all dissipate, because it's just you're just spinning it internally. That's what's happening. It's like you're stuck in this vortex of time. It's a time warp aspect that's constantly going on. And so I'm looking at, I think this particular course would be very, very beneficial for you. So I do suggest you absolutely step into doing it, because this is something that is definitely a pattern with you.
Is there any way that you can help pull me out of this space where it's painful?
Well, when we
right
do
now?
when I do the group activation, I think it'll be helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome, thank you. And so Layla has a question in the chat. She said, when I get quiet and meditative, what comes forward and over is sadness. Please look at my energy and advise how to address it. Please, for example, just watch it, go into it to see its origin, etc. I'm also curious whether this continuous emotion of sadness is actually mine, or if it is from the matrix coming in to keep me looping.
Well, the fact that you're feeling it over and over again is you do have an attachment to it. I think it's also part of what's in the collective that is enhancing it for sure. So, again, it's one of those types of things that we have to own. How is it serving me? So there is, you know, a comfort in some way, even if we don't think there is, aligning to that sadness. And I've shared this before, where I used to wake up in the morning and I would say that I'm such a failure, I'm such a failure. And I'd feel it like every morning. And so, you know, and I would do everything I can to change it. And then I wake up you know, one morning and I'm saying I'm such a failure. And I actually started to feel what that felt like in me saying it. And I was like, wow, you know what? There's some comfort in this. And I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. There's comfort in this, you know? And so once I realized there's comfort in it, you know, that point is when you basically alchemize it. That's like your ownership. That's when you bring it into like a 0 point. So the next day I wake up and, you know, I'm still hearing you're such a failure, because it doesn't just automatically go away. But at that point I can say, you know, I might not know what success is, but I know I don't want to feel that. So at that point is when I'm dropped into my heart and I'm actually at a new place. And so it's still, you know, next day you still feel it, or you still hear it, but now I'm like, oh, okay, well, now it starts to get a little bit further away from that. And I feel like that this is that same type of thing. It's like there's this deep sadness, you know, and it feels to me of a disappointment, of, you know, there's a whole lot of other emotions that are going to come forward with this. But I think just allowing that, you know, to feel it, and how, you know, there's a need for the sadness right now, because there's a part of you that, you know, needs to be honored and needs to feel that. And so I think as you honor that, as you recognize it and, you know, allow it, it will begin to, well, one thing you'll do is you'll shut off like any portals and gateways for more of that sadness, so to speak, that's coming from the collective entry point. But you'll also be able to start to, you know, shift into whatever other emotions are connected to it. Because I do feel there's a worthiness program, self-worth, you know, there's a lot of things that are connected.
Awesome, thank you. And I think a lot of us can probably relate to that as well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Melissa, do you want to unmute yourself? Yes, maybe so. No, I don't know. Yes, Melissa? No. Okay, we lost Melissa.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's all right.
We'll get you back, Melissa, afterwards. All right, so Tanya, you want to go next?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Cathleena. Hello, Alara. Glad to see both of you. I always feel very like energetic. I mean, like my energy moves around so like rapidly when I'm with you two ladies. So my question is, yeah, I also felt a lot of sadness recently, but my question is maybe a little bit not for everyone. Like I'm looking for a new job, and because I'm a professional musician, I kind of think like it's maybe not the best job for me. Maybe I should choose something new now. And I feel like I want to change something in my life, you know. For me, people, like a lot of people around me, because I think a lot of people go through like changes at the moment, and maybe some people go through hard changes. And because I went through a lot of things in my life, I think that I could help them to go through it and kind of to find a better way of living and stuff. So what do you think?
Well, you phased out for just a moment, but I think I got the gist of what you were saying. Well, what I'm feeling in your energy, and I do feel that this is a lot with pretty much everybody and most people that are in energy anyway. You know, as you're awakening and you know, embodying more of who you are, I feel like that it's going to encourage you to step in a way in the physical world that makes you happy, that truly is aligned with your heart, and not, you know, seeking it directly in a way, you know, towards money or towards success or towards what somebody else believes is the way to do it. So in other words, what I'm feeling is like, so if you are a musician, and if music is innate to your heart and you're feeling it in your heart, then, you know, allow yourself to like experience your own music within yourself, and allow your imagination to be part of that experience. So something like an example might be, and I think you were starting to kind of bring this forward in your own awareness, is like, so I don't know if you play an instrument or if you sing or whatever it is that you do, but you know, if we're allowing our source self, our God sovereign self to come forward, our energy self to come forward with, you know, who we are, then perhaps, you know, the limited ways in which we've seen that music gets presented in the world, you create something totally different. And so it may be in a place where, you know, you're playing an instrument and it's actually moving energies and frequencies, or perhaps somebody else is, you know, painting or coloring. I don't know, there's lots of different things that can occur. And I feel like that this is the kind of thing it wants to open for you more, you know, and so just allow for that embodiment. It's like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like, don't throw out, I'm a musician because I can't necessarily do whatever. It's like, well, if that's innate to me, let me feel what that really is. So you're bringing more into you, right? You're allowing it to become you more. That's what I feel wants to kind of show up for you. And I would say, if you have opportunity.
If I should go, thank you. I'm wondering if I should go try like to discover something healing, because I play violin. So I thought maybe I should discover like how I can do some healing.
So here's what I'm saying to you. Here's what I'm saying to you. You're using your mind. So what I'm saying to you is use your heart, because you are, what you're saying is coming to you from your heart, but but by doing it through the mind, you're going to limit it, and you're going to try to create it in a way that's in a limited view. But if you take that same, what you're saying, like, if I'm wondering, then I am feeling it. So feel it from your heart in what, you know, that kind of, it would be like a modality. Well, how would that show up for me? What am I feeling that my music is really doing? You know, experience your music and what you're bringing, okay? Because that is going to be your gift to others.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I totally agree with you. Everything should go from the heart.
From
then
the
it
heart.
is true.
Yes, and let the heart be the leading way in creating the business part too. You know, instead of it going from, you know, a business model out here and then bring it to heart, let the heart create it. Because then it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable because it's you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, and you're an amazing being, and I definitely feel an opening. And I was going to say, if you have opportunity, have a session, because we can definitely work with that. I think this series would be really great for you too, just because I can feel your energy definitely opening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alara. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. Okay, we're gonna go to, one second, Evie in the chat. Can you see why I am replaying the program of people's rejection or their wanting to block or stop me? What could be encouraging this? Can you connect into it and tell me? Thanks.
I think that, you know, most of these types of questions, I feel like the energetics of them are going to be worked with in the group activation that I'm going to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because, you know, that's more personal to you. And I mean, they're all, obviously these questions are a lot of personal things that are going on. But just to put that out there, you know, replaying programs of people rejecting, it's like, so I'm rejecting myself in order to be rejected. And so I'm going to go back to, and I know that that seems like what, but that's what's going on. It's like, am I, am I loving myself? Am I, how do I feel about myself? Because that's always a worthiness program. It's like, what am I really doing? So if I'm having that experience, it's because I'm doing it to myself. I'm treating myself, that younger version, those aspects of myself somehow. I'm not showing up for me in some way.
Makes sense, totally. So Abby, she has a question about abandonment. Is abandonment connected to the original separation?
Well, it certainly can be. I think often it depends on the level of abandonment and how you're experiencing it. But yes, it certainly can be.
But it doesn't have to. Just remember that. It doesn't have to be.
It depends on the level. I'd say with many people, it is in the origination of the false matrix. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier about when we played on both sides of the coin. We have, we do have that place of like not truly knowing, is it safe? What's safe? And this is what a lot of people are feeling. They don't know, nothing feels safe. Nothing feels, I don't know what truth is. I don't know if I'm really light, I'm really not. So, and that's where the ultimate abandonment is, like abandonment from source, because we have this illusion that I was, abandoned, but it's really that I forgot that I was source consciousness, and I chose to have an experience that was, that created a false sense of power, because there is nothing, they said, more powerful, so to speak, than as source consciousness, but not power over anyone. Anytime we have that experience of power over that type, that's when we unintentionally sort of separate ourselves from source. And then in the human, the story is, I was abandoned by source.
Right.
See?
Yeah. Totally. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, you want to unmute yourself, Sarah?
Why, thank you very much.
Hi there.
So I had a little bit of an epiphany yesterday. And I guess that I'm wondering if there's something that's shifted in my energy field that could be detected. I have really been going through it, a lot of emotional upset, a lot of people calling on me for things that what I thought I had for support in agreeing to that situation, the support has pulled away. And I don't think the message is that, I can't count on anybody and I'm alone, which I've been doing for 12 years now. But just that things that were kind of terrifying me. I'm leading a group of 20 wedding couples to Israel, and they've just scheduled the flight for like 4 a.m. And I'm thinking, I can't do that. I have to sleep. So I started saying a bunch of affirmations, and people want me to fly to various cities and do various things. And without the support and the financial energy coming back at me, I panicked. And yesterday I started saying a bunch of affirmations and realized that I do need to be at 0 point. And if I can be at 0 point, then I can feel to be the capable person I am and handle it, make sure my boundaries are good. And I moved into more of a state of joy. A couple of days ago, Alara saw me, I was in tears. So I don't know if I have shifted something. I am going to say affirmations and try to be at 0 point every day. My boyfriend quotes Eckhart Tolle and tells me to do that. So this is just a question for you. Is there something that has shifted in me? I am hoping with such a big smile that I'm going to stay in this feeling and stay in this state. And one other thing, Joe Hernandez said earlier this week on Alara's show that I and a lot of other people weren't hooked up to the divine. And she gave me a brief exercise to do. And I don't see how that's possible to not be hooked up to the divine. So, comments. Thank you.
Well, I think it's important for you to know on your own if there's a shift within you. And I think, of course, that you're obviously expressing a shift, right? Because you're able to drop into the 0 point and you're able to experience joy. So I think what is more interesting is your doubting of that, and the concern that I don't know, can I hold on to it? Can I not? Da, 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 da. That's everything I'm just describing. See, so that's the significance of, you know, the profundity of your energy, you know, having been here, I'm sure many different times, you know, having participated on both sides of the fence, everything that's going on. And I think this other individual talking about the disconnect from the divine, what that's referring to is exactly what you're doing, which is the doubting that I am source consciousness, that I am the 0 point, because in essence, you are the 0 point. We are the 0 point, you know, that is our essence. And so that's why, you know, this idea of dropping into it is just this vessel. And if you can think about what a better way to sort of think about this, or another way, is that, you know, I always say when the ego can find its placement in a good way. And what that means is when the ego, this being, if Cathleena can realize that she's not in control in a good way. And what that means is that, you know, she can let go because there is a higher self and a oversoul that is one with source who knows why we're here, that's in communication. That ensures that this vehicle is going to stay one as source all the time. That makes it a lot easier to drop into the 0 point. Because, you know, I'm no longer me running around trying to find things, because that's not the truth of anything. And that's what wants to be shown up for you. That's what you were able to do for the brief, what you think is a brief moment. But remember that there is no real time. The only real time is the now moment, which is the 0 point. It's the place of no thing and all possibilities. So it's not something that we necessarily pop in and out of. That's the mind talk. That's the avatar talking, you know, as consciousness, I am there. And so it's allowing this vehicle to know that, you know, and that's really the magic, you know. So all the doubts and the questions and those things is just that little you. That's you playing small. That's you becoming the avatar instead of realizing you're the one in charge of the avatar.
Okay, well, I have noted in the chat with several other people about this deep well of sadness, but I'm just going to put a lid on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and I feel this, the sadness is because, you know, we're waking up, and that's a big piece in it, you know, is the sadness is part of the story, because when you're really connecting in much deeper, and then there's aspects of ourself that have had these life experiences that we'll call either lack of life or different things are going on. That's really what those elements of sadness, you know, and let those come up, because those are the ages of you. Those are the ones that have been hiding and been, you know, and they're both kind of like sitting in this sadness like this, but there's also going to be this amazing relief and this amazing, like, oh my gosh, you finally see me, and yay, and I'm here, and oh, and woo, you know, and that's what's coming forward. And I'm bringing that up for you right now, because I was taking that through those levels and being that, and you can feel that energetic going from, oh, right, because I just took it through some stages for you from some of these dimensional fields. But that, and so that's what many people are going through. So just
Right.
allow it.
Thank you for helping me. I'll turn around and go help somebody else.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. You're welcome.
Thank you, Alara, for calling on me.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. All right. iPhone 2008, blah, 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 ending in 2011. I don't want to say the whole phone number.
208
Yeah, that's you.
2252 2011.
Yeah, don't say
Hi,
it.
who
Unless you want lots of people calling you.
Uh-huh.
the more the merrier.
All right, so how can we help you? How can we support you today?
I would like to know if Cathleena could provide knowing and what love is, a feeling.
Well, that's in, I'm not sure exactly what you are asking. I mean, you're asking if I can tell you what love feels like? If you
No,
can,
we hear that everywhere.
yeah, only you
A
can feel
feeling,
that.
knowing.
Mhm. A knowing about love?
It's an
Yes.
it's experiential, right? So it's gonna be
Yeah, so
different.
you are love. So when you can feel yourself in your own heart, you are feeling love. You are love. That is the expression of love, is you. So that would be your expression, is to feel you, to you.
I didn't grow up in love. There was no love in my house. I did not know what love was for many, many, many years. I've been learning as I go along.
So like I said, you are love. So when you get to know who you are and you feel yourself, you are feeling love. So it's a faith, trust, and surrender, and a being totally transparent to yourself. So the idea that I didn't feel love is I didn't feel love to me. It's nothing to do with outside here. And why didn't I feel love? Because I didn't love me, because I didn't know who I was. So get to know who this amazing being is. And what's your name?
Monica.
Monica. Let Monica know what an amazing being she is. She's you're a beautiful light. I can feel you. You have a huge heart. You're like amazing being of light. So let yourself feel that. That's love. Let yourself feel your own heart. You're an amazing being. I totally feel you guys are all amazing beings of light. And I definitely feel your bright, bright light. So just let that shine. Let yourself feel that. That is love. Give yourself permission. Yeah, you're amazing.
Cathleena, do you see anything else
Like what?
in the energy field?
That's too general.
Yeah, that's very general.
Well, as far as what's going on economically, economics for everybody, that's an everybody question.
Well, abundance is your birthright. And divine abundance occurs when we allow for abundance into our world. And abundance isn't just money, is a frequency, it's an energy. So when we allow abundance in health, abundance in love, abundance in well-being, that's how, because abundance is a frequency. And so when you allow abundance in, all abundance comes in. So allow for the abundance of who you are to show up. And all other will follow. It has to. It's universal law. See, we narrow it in. What we keep doing is we're like holding these frequencies of despair and and we're like, oh, but if I just had a little money, that's not abundance. And you can have divine abundance anytime you desire. Just open your heart to it. It's faith, trust, and surrender. That you are an amazing creator being. That's why I'm sharing all this about what true creation. We just haven't been taught this. It's not unique to me. Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very kindly.
Thank you for showing up. You're an amazing being, and all of you for showing up.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you as well.
Let's go into the activation because I am very strict on time. I do have something else afterwards. So.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into this activation. So if everybody wants to close their eyes and just take some nice deep breaths. Watch I Close off all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes of any siphoning of my energy, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Only aligning to the one timeline, unity consciousness, law of one, pure ascension timeline, clearing through all dimensional fields, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Closing off all portals, gateways, pathways, meridians, stargates, wormholes to any of the phantom matrix, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum through all dimensional fields, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Releasing any and all attachments, seen and unseen, known and unknown, any holographic inserts, consciousness traps, reversal timeline loops, any and all reversal timeline loops. Fifth, sixth dimensional field, past, present, and future, all fourth dimensional field, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Any and all holographic inserts, consciousness traps, any MK Ultra mind control, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum, and any 5G sonic frequencies, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Bring in the golden light of your origination. Recalibrate this to your central and peripheral nervous system, brainstem, brain, to your fingertips, to your toes, becoming golden. This is you before you ever came into form. Call forward the highest and most profound healing miracles, and miracles take place this now divine moment according to divine law and order in the will of the oversoul. We're going to ask for all that no longer serves you to simply release with grace and ease. Just imagine little particles floating out of your body. You don't have to know what they are, just letting them go. The limits, limitations, judgments, worthiness programs, fight or flight, victim, victimizer frequencies, and in all fear programming, any and all fear programming, past, present, future, and all space-time continuum. I'm going to bring a field around you of pure source, a very bright, thick plasmic field, pure source light. It's like gel. I'm going to sink your whole body into this. I'm going to recalibrate the quantum level of your DNA to the I am presence. I'm going to drop you into the crystalline core of Sophia Gaia. Calibrate, integrate all elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether, and the diamond blue plasmic flame of the sixth element to all aspects of self, mental, physical, spiritual, etheric. I'm going to calibrate to the ascension timeline. Through all dimensional fields, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Calibrate you to the Christed template, the Sophianic template, the golden grid network, and the crystalline grid network. Take some deep breaths. I am that, I am source, I am sovereign, and I am free. I am that. I am you, you are me, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. Just keep allowing. So I'm going to bring this calibration into the present moment. Bringing this into your central channel. Crown's completely open to source. So opening your root. Imagine energetic roots coming out your legs, out your feet, wrapping around the crystalline core of the earth. So bringing this calibration into the present moment. I'm going to bring in the 18th dimensional diamond consciousness of water, bringing in divine clarity as we're going to take any veils. Like a fog, I'm going to release this from any mind matrix, past, present, and future, and all space-time continuum. Take some deep breaths. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Have a drink of water.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Still feeling a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of clearing. Yeah, it's taking away a lot of the veils aspect is still clearing. So there's a lot clearing through the collective. Yeah.
Of course, everyone, please do drink some water. You're going to continue to clear for, well, you might perceive some more, but so just be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Chills, I felt a lot of heat in my hands and my feet, and a lot of activity in my third eye. A lot of activity in my third eye, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
But settling down now, starting to settle down. All right, so I know we only have a few minutes, Cathleena, but let's just take a brief minute and talk about the package. We've talked about it briefly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-week. I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. It's available at alara.at/show/Cathleena6. And it's a 5-week program. Second here. Moving through the time matrix at 0 point. Anything else you want to share about that? Because we talked pretty much about it the whole call, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, they're all activations in the 0 point. So and they are recorded. So you can, once you receive it, you'll be able to experience it right away. So anytime you listen, they're in the now moment. You can also listen to them more than once. So it's always brand new. It does take you through ages. So first week 0 to 10, then 11 to 21, 22 to 40, 41 to 60, and then all of your life. And even if you're not at that chronological age yet, time being not linear, it doesn't matter because you're still in the energetics of whatever the time is. And basically, yeah, I described it. I'm just taking you through this portal of time and bringing you as your soul self to those time periods to allow for that energetic field to release and alchemize and shift. So it's a very profound series.
Yeah, and so there, I can foresee, talking about time, I can foresee lots of transformation because not just look at all of the time ages, the age groups, and we sometimes forget certain things that have happened to us where, but we might still be behaving in that way. Like, who am I being? I'm being that 8-year-old. Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole whatever was happening at that time. Right. So we don't always remember, we're not always conscious of it in the moment, but it is still there in our field, right? It's still there in our consciousness because we haven't processed the emotions from that time or the stories from that time.
Well, and this is,
go ahead.
Yeah, and this is not necessarily even just this timeline. This is all timelines. So, so it could be from other timelines as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, just that idea of being able to release, clear, come back to, the 0 point, come back to neutrality for certain experiences that have happened in your life is going to bring you a greater awareness and a greater sense of self and the greater connection or that knowledge of who you truly are as source consciousness, having these different experiences, but not being stuck in those time frames anymore, right? Not being stuck in those periods or whatever, however you want to play it. Say that and those aspects of you, from those times. So for me, when I think about that, it's like, oh, I can just imagine all the stuff lifting out of me as I'm willing to release, as I'm willing to surrender, as I'm willing to trust, and as I'm allowing myself to come back to who I truly am.
Yeah, and it's, well, it's, yes, and it's actually quite magical in the sense of, I carry the 0 point anyway, and then to be able to bring this into the 0 point, it's almost like, remember in the 0 point, things become alchemized. So, so it's outside of the mind. So, the trapped aspect is in the mind. When these get to be released from the body and alchemized to the body, you often, might have a lot of body sensations actually during these particular series, and then different things that come up. I have recommended to journal, and then, at some point you can have a session or something and we can go over whatever's there. But it's very deep, it's on many, many different levels. So it's, it's a very profound.
And so, of course, there are 2- and 3-part payment plans available for this package, and please do use the discount gift of or gift code of TACS10 as well at purchase. Okay, and so this is, like I said, like Cathleena said, it's a 5-week program. It's pre-recorded. You'll receive, access to the program, the course, and then you can take it at your own pace. But would you recommend 1 week in between, or does it matter?
I think whatever you feel intuitively to do. Some people will do them a couple days, every couple of days. I guess my feeling is with this group generally, probably one every 3 or 4 days, something like that.
Yeah. So expect a lot of transformation and shifting to happen in that time space. Yeah. So I just wanted to share with you, Cathleena, just a few of the comments from that activation, right? With Lori, that sent chills down my spine, much needed. Linda says that was amazing, many thanks. Tanya says something lifted off of my chest. Janice says thank you. Manisha says I released a lot of energy, a lot of long yawns, eyes watering away, release a lot of fear and sadness. Awesome. Sarah says so grateful for this. Very good works be returned to you 1,000-fold with joy, health, and love. Thank you. And Arietta says, so powerful. I feel I have taken a cleansing bath. Awesome. Good. Yeah, so people were experiencing that activation, viscerally. They're really feeling it and experiencing it. So please do drink some water. Please be gentle with yourself. Please listen to your body, and always come back to that 0 point, your heart space, and ask, when something's happening, who am I being? Who am I in this moment? Right? And see what shows up, right? See how your thoughts begin to change. See what you're starting to become more aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. Be the witnessing observer of yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful.
Be the witnessing observer of yourself. And that takes practice. So please don't beat yourself up. It takes practice. Just keep doing it, right?
Yeah, and love yourself during the process and have fun. Be
Yeah.
curious. Just be curious.
Exactly. All right. Anything else? Last minute before we go, because I know you have another appointment.
I have an appointment. Yeah. Well, as always, Laura, I'm grateful to be here with co-creating with you and everybody here. Thanks for showing up. So much love to everyone. And I'll see you guys again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for all of your questions, for being here with us, co-creating this beautiful space, co-creating that powerful activation. Thank you. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Please do check out Cathleena's offer. It's available at alara.at/show/Cathleena6. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.